everybody to episode 1 of Astro's Hawaiian Stories. I am your host, A to the S to the T to the R to the O, Astro. Now, on this show, we're going to be talking about a lot of specific topics, but today is all I want to talk about is a genetic disorder called autism. Now, on this show, we're going to be having a lot of questions, and the sound for the questions, how I know I'm going to have a question today, is going to sound like this. And it looks like we already have a question on the line. So let's get to your question, and I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability about autism.
Hey Astro, what is autism?
That is a great question. You probably already heard about somebody with autism. You may know someone who has it. A younger brother, a friend, a sibling, or even a kid in your class. So this is what autism is. Autism is a development disorder that some people are born with. It's not something that you can catch or pass along to someone else. Autism affects the brain that makes communicating and interacting with other people difficult. People who have autism often have delayed language. They usually have trouble with social interactions. Another characteristic of autism is what people describe as a sensory overload, like sounds seem louder, lights seem brighter, or smells are sometimes stronger. Spectrum disorder. Looks like we have another question. Here we go. I'm going to try to answer this.
How do people get autism?
Another good question, how do people get autism? Okay. Well, doctors don't know exactly what causes autism. Experts think it's probably a complex combination of genetic and environmental factors. Families who have a child with autism have a higher risk of having another child with autism or a similar disorder. Although scientists aren't yet pinpointed exactly why some people develop autism, they do know that it's not caused by things like vaccines or bad parenting. Well, we just have a lot of questions just coming in today, huh? Okay. Let's see what your question is.
What are the effects of autism?
Well, the effects of autism can be different things like communication. They have language developed slowly or not at all. Their use of words without attaching a meaning. Their gestures used instead of words, or they have short attention spans. They may spend a time alone rather than time with others. They show little interest in making friends, or less responsive to social cues such as eye contact or smiles. Unusual reactions to physical sensations such as being overly sensitive to touch or under responsive to pain. Sight, hearing, smell, and taste may be affected to a lesser or greater degree. Or they don't like to play with people, like they have lack of spontaneous or imaginative play. They do not imitate actions of others. They don't initiate pretend games. They may be overreactive or very passive, frequent tantrums for no apparent reason, or may repeatedly play with a single item, idea, or person, like their imaginary friend or whatever. Their apparent lack of safety awareness may show aggressive or violent behavior to injure thyself. More questions. Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming.
Who does autism affect?
Well, autism affects a lot of different young people. According to the Autism Society of America and confirmed by Dr. Bernard Rimland of the Autism Research Institute, it is conservatively estimated that almost nearly 400,000 people in the United States today have some type of form of autism. Its prevalence rate right now places as third most common development disability, more common than Down syndrome. According to Damien Picari, moderator of the Autism Research Guide, autism and its associated disorders occur in approximately 60 out of every 10,000 births. That is who autism affects. Wow, we just got a lot of questions today. Everybody wants to know about autism. Well,
What are the treatments of autism?
All right. How is autism treated? Well, there is no cure for autism, unfortunately, but kids with autism can learn skills that help them do things that are hard for them, whether it's communicating with others or crossing the street safely. It is usually best for kids to begin treatment when they're very young and as soon as they're diagnosed, because autism shows up differently in different people. Treatment varies from child to child. The same specialists who help diagnose a child usually work together to come up with the best combination of therapies. Treatments that may go to at least help it would be like a speech therapy, a physical therapy, occupational therapy, behavior therapy, social skills training, music therapy, or medication. But that's not all that may not work, but those will help. By the time they're teens, people with autism might take regular classes or attend special classes at high school level. Some may go to a special school because of ongoing behavioral problems. Well, we got one more question, and this is the last question I'm going to take from this last person. What is your question?
Yo, Astro, what is it like to have autism?
Wow. That was an interesting question. What is it like to have autism? Well, teens with autism might not act like other people or even like each other because their brains process information differently. Some people with autism have trouble talking and might communicate with gestures instead of words. They may have difficulty making eye contact or understanding social cues like smiling or, scowling. It can be hard for kids with autism to make friends, and some may prefer to spend time alone and show less interest in making friends. Others might look for the company of friendship, but try very hard because they don't have the social skills. Some people with autism may have tantrums and act aggressively when frustrated. They can be upsetting if it's directed at you, but it's not meant to be offensive. It's part of the disorder. Because people can't communicate with their emotions like anger and frustration, is more acceptable ways. They might express themselves in ways that seem inappropriate. It might seem like people with autism don't feel or show emotion. People who are sensitive to sensations may draw back when hugged or startled at a sudden noise, even when it's not very loud. Because remember, in one of them symptoms, sounds can be very louder. Many people with autism have difficulty coping with change and anxious if their daily routine is altered. In more severe cases, they might fixate on different objects or ideas or display repetitive motions like rocking or hand flapping like this. Some people with autism have intellectual limitations and learning problems. Others are highly intelligent but might have a hard time communicating with it. Now I have some exclusive pictures to show you of people who have autism, or different diagrams and charts of people with autism and how the rates went up. This amazed me when I looked at these pictures. So I hope you guys like it. Watch the slideshow. Well, broskies, that's all the time I have for this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. Go back and watch all my other videos. Leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and like me on Facebook. And follow me on Twitter at SetItOffAstra. And remember to take care, spike your hair, and put your fist in the air. Woo, 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 you know it, bro.